got 3 irons here, all in a very similar, if not the same bracket. Hello, I'm Mark Crossfield, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed to this channel and you find this video helps or gives you some good information, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button down there, because I do plenty of free golf content. And also, if you like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let me know that these are the ones you want more of or not. So give us a thumbs up if this is something you want more testing of. So I've got Mizuno, Srixon, and TaylorMade. P760 in the TaylorMade, ZX7 in the Srixon, JPX 921 Tour in the Mizuno. In the comments down below, will there be any difference? Will I feel the difference? Which one will be better? If we can define that, got a fun little challenge at the end. Good old-fashioned compare of irons that kind of do appeal to a lot of different handicaps of golfer, I would say. It's that real crossover between good looks and a bit of friendly design in there as well. Let's get stuck in. So the P760 does just look great. It's got a lovely little squat head design. The groove pattern looks nice and next to no offset. That medium top side looks really good. And to be honest with you, the feel, wow, that's as good as anything out there. Like, it just is as good as anything. I think the P range of TaylorMade irons has literally transformed them into a good iron company, where before the irons always felt a little bit left. They were always very long and quite ugly in their blade lengths, where now they just are literally as good as anything I've ever hit. And we are getting feels, sounds, flights with this club that are right where you want them to be for this bracket of club. It's that beautiful forged, slightly muted feel, which makes you feel like you're not getting anything unpredictable out of it. You're getting that true flight. It just sounds, yeah, spot on. I mean, I honestly think they've nailed it with the P range. They literally compete with anything out there. I could literally hit this club all day. Very easily could game it. Sound, feel, looks, just, yeah, on the money. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the numbers compare, because that just feels like it's doing what it's meant to. So ZX7 next. Definitely the straighter top line, so it does have that feeling of a little bit more down by the ball. Again, the feel is that forged, lovely sound. Is there anything different in the feel between those two? I would argue not. They felt very much the same. Does look with the Srixon like there's more face down by the ball. And what I mean by that is it's the groove shaping and pattern, and how much of the grooves is taking up the face. So the biggest difference between the two is you see this line here is much longer, where on the TaylorMade it feels smaller, which makes that face feel a bit smaller, even though it's not. The head size is almost identical. And it's because you've got less of the chromed bit, where on the TaylorMade you've got more. And look at the difference in the shaping of the toe. Very rounded on the TaylorMade, so you lose a bit here and here, where with the Srixon you don't. It's rounded, but it's then sharper to cut away. So this one feels like it's got more face than this one, even though the actual shapes, sizes of the head are like literally on top of each other, almost identical. And I think that for me is literally just, that's kind of going to be about the difference. And it's that look, which in then turn might make you feel different. And one wouldn't be better than the other, because some people are going to want a bit more help, which this one appears to give. It won't. I'm sure the help will be the same with both. But the bigger face down by the ball might inspire a different level of confidence to the less. But then there'll be other half of the consumers who don't want the bigger face, they want the smaller one. I don't think that's one thing that's better or worse than the other. It's just something that is slightly different. And you would have to make up in your mind what you want to buy into. Again, both of those I'm not feeling any difference. A slight difference in the looks, feel, sound, they're both pretty much on point. So we go JPX to the last one, so you get this off chrome finish as well on this kind of white satin, and it is definitely the most slender top line, which again will appeal and not, subject to what you're buying into. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. Oh yeah, that looks good down by the ball. The offset on all three looks almost identical. I'm not seeing any difference. This one just looks more slender, classic-y, down by the ball. Oh, does it feel different? Does anything feel like a Mizuno? Oh God, I would say if you were to blind test me on all three, possibly could hear the difference. I think feel off the face, not I'd say audible tone that then leads to ideas of feel. The Mizuno maybe has a slightly different sound, slightly. It's almost like a fractionally higher pitch. Now I don't mean tingy like a game improvement iron, where they're the muffled dull kind of forward sound. This has that, but then at the same time it has a fraction more of a solid higher pitch feel. But I'll be honest with you, I'm reaching for that, like I'm proper reaching. I think if it was a complete blind test, you took all the branding off, I possibly would have this one sounding that fraction different. Better or worse, I wouldn't even be able to call it, to be fair. I think you would have to try yourself. I don't think I'd put any money on that I would call it though. I think I could. Oh, really what I'm getting is just three very good medium bracket clubs. Kind of that player but wants a bit of help kind of idea. As I carry on collecting data, why don't we go and have a look at the data, the tech with all three of these clubs, see which one's shouting a bit louder. So let's look at the TaylorMade to start us off. When the tall forging and speed foam technology come together, it's basically a combination to behold, is what P760 TaylorMade says. It's a progressive player's iron shaping. So the shaping is progressive and formed more towards a player's looks. Those, you know, really nice lines and very nice curves and delicate lines rather than chunky. Precision engineered scoring clubs, 8 to the wedge, result in an exceptional feel. Forged construction, they're forged from 1025 carbon steel body, soft feel with the new lighter SU S630 face, 3 to 7 irons, create additional speed, accuracy and playability. Speed foam technology, the speed foam is injected from the 3 to 7 irons. P760 generates incredible distance soft feel without sacrificing looks. So JPX Tour, grain flow forged HD at our legendary facility, 1025E pure selected mild carbon steel, so they're really going for it on the forging, which obviously Mizuno have been saying that for years. Stability frame, Mizuno stability frame with toe bias weighting gives longer CG distance needed for straighter, consistent ball flight. Harmonic impact, feel impact and fraction longer than with the thicker cavity pad. Evolved from Mizuno's study of vibration patterns, so that's what I'm hinting at, I guess, when I can feel the difference. And if we look at the Srixon ZX7, tall cavity, mass repositioned to the sweet spot, perimeter provided a remarkable soft feel impact, increased workability. So they're moving mass around, progressive grooves, so the grooves are different. Grooves in 8 iron through the pitch and wedge are sharper, narrower for deeper, more spin, stopping power and approach shots to the greens. The VT Tour sole. So you see this kind of angled sole on the bottom, which they've put in a lot of their irons at the moment, and multi-piece construction. Tungsten in the toe, ZX7s in the 4 to 7 iron, increases the MOI, and forged from 1020 carbon steel. So they're all doing very, very similar things, aren't they? So they've all got their level of shouting, haven't they? I mean, I think the speed foam possibly with TaylorMade is still a little bit, in my opinion, preposterous and sell. How many people actually buy it because of those terms though? I don't know. Well, the people do. Marketing does work, doesn't it? I mean, out of the tech, before we look at the numbers, out of the three, which one's going to come out as the best or the longest or the most stand out? Do you reckon? Post in the comments down below, because obviously you can hear what they're shouting about in the numbers. Which one's going to shout the loudest in the numbers? What do you reckon? Down there. Here we go then, the 3 irons. Let's start with some ball data. 118, 118, 118 with all 3 irons. Backspin 5.8, 5.7, 5.7 with 1.52, standard deviation 2.26, 2.2. They're all bleeding into each other. They're the same. Carry 168, 168, 168. These are 7 irons I'm hitting, totaling 1 yard in it, but again that total's irrelevant for me really. I want this number with an iron. I'm not going to roll it 10 yards hopefully too often. So launch angle 19, 19, 19. It's hilarious. I mean, look at the groupings. It's just, it's the same club, isn't it? Efficiency's all very much on top of each other, 0.1 more on the P760, but then ball speed, result on ball speed's exactly the same. Dynamic loft, all less than a degree of each other, within 0.3, with standard deviation bleeding then, the same. And strikes all very much in a similar spot on average. I mean, I'm just seeing, I mean, look at, these are 3 lines here, look. These are 3 different coloured lines and you're barely seeing 2. And the same here, you just see the 3 separations as I hit enough shots to give you some deviations. And we're seeing the same loft presented, we're seeing the same distance, we're seeing the same club. You can say speed foam, you can say VT sole, and you can say forged in your factory, but at the end of the day, the performance of all 3 of those clubs are kind of on a par. And to be fair, that's what I would want to happen. That gives you the opportunity then to go out and test to see if you find differences, and at the same time, dial into your looks and feels and sounds of what you want a club to do. And that's, I think, the main point with these. I wouldn't expect one to be better or worse. If I did, it wouldn't take long for them all to catch up. And that's something I think where Mizuno maybe over the years definitely had an advantage in forging and sounds and feels, and where that might be marginal now from what I was feeling from those 3, I think everyone else is catching up. And to be fair, this company, if you're going to go most improved, they win. Because the P series irons is the most improved from what they used to produce. Let's do our little game, shall we? Let's get them on the simulated golf course. So we're at Celtic Manor, we're 168 out on the par 3 third, funky little green. It's got a drop off over to the right, water short left. It's just a really nice little design par 3. This drops off here, so you've got to be careful with your right hit. We're 168 out. TaylorMade, Srixon, then JPX is the order we'll go. Let's just have a who can hit it the closest competition, and then we're going to move it around a bit. So this is quite a good way for you to think about your tests as well. So TaylorMade starts off. It's not a bad shot at all if it's up. Yeah, sit down. Now sit. Oh, TaylorMade's going to win that, surely. So ZX7, now this isn't actually my 7 iron, I use a ZX5 in the 7 iron, but it's very, very similar. I do use a 7, but in an 8 iron, not a 7 iron. Not an excuse, just pointing that out when people try to say, oh, we used your iron. I didn't. A little bit leaky compared to the TaylorMade, but I would take both of those too, but I just don't think I'm going to beat, don't hit that roll off. Don't think I'm going to hit the TaylorMade. I'm not going to hit inside that one. It was a great shot. Okay, JPX next. Can it just sneak it? Have I cut that? No, I tried to just feather that and I've kept it straight. Very happy with all 3 of those shots. Did I feel an advantage in any of them? Not really. So TaylorMade here, 7 foot, 17 foot with mine, 28 foot with the JPX. What's interesting here, look how the ball speed on these 2 are identical. So these 2 shots were very much the same, just didn't quite get the side spin or spin axis quite right of those 2 balls through delivery, slightly different, slightly more club head speed, or ball speed, I should say, with the JPX. Look, even though the club head speed was matched on all 3, shows you how brilliant this game is, doesn't it? Strikey, just plays its part. So we've moved to 158, we've gone 10 yards closer, but we've got water at the front here, so I'm going to stay with the 7 iron, and now I'm just going to hit a nice little feathered iron in there in theory. TaylorMade to start us off. Nice little high cut. I've taken enough off that. Oh yeah, P760, you are on it. Srixon next. Exactly the same shot really. Just whatever the TaylorMade does, follow it. Oh, I don't think I've cut that enough. Slight toe strike. It's a good result though. Ooh, wonder who's closer out of those two. I think the P has that just. And then the Mizuno as well. Little point here for when you're testing. You should be trying to do these things. It's not just, we're going to do one more test at the end, which will be smash it down there, but it shouldn't just be how far these go. Remember, you've got to play iron so much in situation. And this is a situation I would play this iron in so often. Do I want to hit a hard 8 or soft 7. Well, soft 7 is something I play, so I want to know how these perform for that shot as well. Oh, I just pushed that, got the shape, but started it too far right. Get down. Oh, no. That's just a poor shot. So yeah, the P wins again, look, 18 foot to 25 foot to 19. Now again, if we look at the ball speeds, they're all within 1 mile an hour of each other. Launch angles all the same. Spins all very, very similar. It's amazing. I mean, dry ball data, look, if you look at a range, obviously when we put these in the situation, I think this is where it's so interesting again. I mean, you wouldn't see any patterns in these numbers from just hitting them down a range. But then when you hit them into this green on this situation, well, these two stood out. And again, the TaylorMade has it. Really good performing iron, isn't it? Right, we're now 178. So again, I would be more 6 here, but I'm going to hit a really hard 7 because I still want to know what my mean is, I want to know what my lower end is, and I also want to know what my top end is. These are things I would be doing in fittings. These are things you should be doing when you're trying to buy clubs. So this is pushing all these clubs to their limits. Let's see what comes out. Pushing me to my limits more than them. Yep, so a little bit of a push. Again, that's going to hit the green, hopefully just filter a bit to the left. Oh no, we caught that drop off. But I mean, for how far I'm trying to hit that, I'm going to take it. Oh, I've gone the longer carry with that one. That's going to have to go. Oh, stop on the bank. So, I mean, you can see again, it's pushing me to my... Those two shots are so similar, I reckon, on distance. And then finally, the Mizuno. Can it jump through? Third time lucky, as they say. Yeah, Mizuno wins that easy. Like, it is a shot though. It's an option for me, but I have to be doing it well. So the TaylorMade in theory lost that one, but in situation it was in a good place. This was on the bank, so it's got more chance of a bogey, but then on this situation it's beaten the TaylorMade, the Srixon has, but the far outside the winner there was the Mizuno at 12 foot 9 inches. Again, look at the Mizuno, just a better strike. Worst strike was with the Mizuno, the Srixon. I said that, I towed it. Identical carries on these two, and then just squeezing a bit more out. Who would ever thought? Strike is king, eh? Look at the low toe has just cost me on the Srixon, where toe but centre hit with the Mizuno 1. Which one and why would you choose? Post in the comments down below. I mean, they're identical for me. 3 really good performing irons. Love the shape. Maybe the feel. I like the fact it presents a bit more face down by the ball. I think there's something in there for everyone. And I think if anyone's telling you that one's better than the other there, they're not quite really getting it. They are pretty much the same iron, and they're 3 very good irons. Thanks for watching. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see more of in the reviews and different compares you want to see. I'm just trying to get a few more to this 1787 iron distance. That's the P760 struck better. There you go, look, that's a proper shot. This club's dialed, isn't it? Also remember, hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and you want to see more compares, those kind of ideas. Hits all 3, hit the subscribe button, and also hit that thumbs up button if you like what's going on with the videos. And again, like I say, if you hit that thumbs up button, I can look at that and take that as a hint that you might want to see more of these ideas and videos produced to help you make better buying decisions. There's the Srixon, better strike, and it's up. God, you just got to strike it, haven't you? That's crazy. Who'd have ever thought that with all this tech?